Well, well, well. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Margaret. excuse me. Wow. All right. Back once again. It's been a few weeks, so yeah. Um, Welcome back to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Hello, Jen. Yep. Hello, Tom, Debbie. Can you guys not hear me? Should be okay. All right. Now wait. Can you hear me? Let's see. Hey, Troy. Hey, Ron. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. All right. All right. I will rephrase everything. Good morning. All right. Welcome to Good Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Welcome back. It is season 5, episode 1. Glad to be back again. It's been a couple weeks, as you obviously can tell. Hey, Dow. Della, okay, God. All right, cool. Good morning, Nicole. Wow, look at everybody jumping in. Oh my God. Jeez. I love it. I love seeing you guys. Man, I missed everybody. Hey, Christine, happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I know we've all posted it, for days now. So, but again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Even though it's now obviously, we're on to that next holiday. So hey, Jeremy, good morning. I don't know if you guys saw the post. Hey, Sharon, good morning. If you saw the my post this morning, you guys, if you didn't see it, you got to go check it out because I had a good one with that one. So, uh, no, you're good, Dylan. No worries. Hopefully, you're feeling better. No worries. Let me go. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Yes, Troy Yule. That would be more appropriate, right? Wouldn't it? But yeah, it's crazy to think that it's been 2 weeks. I haven't been around. I mean, well, I've been around, but well, I guess half of it I've been around. The other half I've been multiple states away. So, I will get to that, Troy. I will certainly get to that. Oh, Della, I'm sorry. Oh, well, hopefully you'll get through it quickly. And yeah, I know it's still not completely gone from everybody, but thoughts and prayers to you, and hopefully it'll. Oh, okay, got you, Dell. No worries. So you got through it, but that was a while back. Got it. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's weird to think, well, Debbie, I've missed everybody. Like I've said, it's you don't, you get into that routine. You're doing this. Like for me, I try to do these every weekend. Every Saturday as much as possible, and it's weird to miss one because I hate missing one. Oh, okay, gotcha, Della. Yeah, it's so weird, and even though, you know, you get into that routine, so you wanna keep up with that routine, and then the next thing you know, you get into situations where, you do have to miss one, and I really so wanted to record one. I just did not anticipate, the amount of, stuff I had to do, which really was, part one half of, the topic today. So like I said, we'll dive into that. But yeah, it's great to be back again. I mean, like I said, I've missed everybody. It's so weird to miss 2 weeks, let alone in a row. Normally one is okay. Hey, Chris, good morning. I'll miss one, but to miss 2 weeks in a row, it's man, it's hurts me. You guys might be okay with it, but it hurts and stings for me. So but yeah, glad to be back. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I mean, obviously, I've tried to keep up with some posts. Obviously, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I mean, like I said, we're going to dive into things because I want you guys to hear it and not just read about it in one of my posts. So that's why I think it was going to be weird. Yeah, Debbie, I had fun with that one. But yeah, so I thought it would probably be easy. I mean, because let me I really don't, I'm not going to talk about anything in the future at this point because obviously I have two cool. Hey, Lori, good morning. Um, okay, cool. Yeah, I thought I'd go back, a couple weeks. I thought that would be easier, because easy I could start with the most recent thing, but I wanted to go back because I think it might be appropriate, just because it's been so long. But I did want to go back to. Hey, good morning, Exy. I did want to go back to Old Mill Parafest and Exy. good timing. She just jumps in right at the point. There was a couple weeks ago, that was the 12th, and had a great event. I kept saying, whether I posted it or talked about it on the show, I really truly wore more hats than I've ever worn at our event. And it was none of it was stressful, in a lot of aspects, which, considering how many hats I wore, you would think that there would be. And it was odd because even then, I'm gonna jump for a second. The day after, even when we, finished packing up and tearing down on Sunday, the 13th, uh, it was crazy to think that, I had this sort of relief, but I mean, most of it was a lot of anticipated stuff. And so, actually, you did great too. So, I mean, hey, Chad, good morning. And I never, like I said, I never, I, you're all good, Della. I really, we wanted it to go off well. I mean, whoever, puts on an event of this size, and Exie knows too, because she's, helped put on events and still does. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and you want everything to go as smooth as possible. And of course, there's always things that get tripped over, and you just deal with it. And there's a few things that we missed that we just it is what it is. And some people notice it, some people don't. And that's the important thing, is if you don't see some of the stuff, then it worked out because we either fixed it, or we corrected it, or whatever the situation was. But yeah, I mean, but overall, the event, I think, went really well. We had a good turnout. So many great speakers. Again, Exie, was awesome. And I spoke, go figure, but that was, another hat. I had to create a presentation. And, this time I really tried to put slides together. And even though there were more bullet points than anything, but, I did include photos in a lot of them. And um, it was kind of fun to do that. And I know, watching some of the others like Jeff Belanger and stuff, I mean, they really go to town on a lot of their slideshows, which is great. And so, that's, something I got to work up towards, is doing a little bit better on my presentation slides. Obviously I can talk. You guys know that, because here an hour disappears before you know it. And then, so I can talk. We know that. And unusual for me to say that, but I, uh, I never used to be this way. I mean, it was something I, eventually broke into, but it's kind of fun that now I can sit there and just rattle and keep talking, and not feel like I'm lost or stuck, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I had many hats. I spoke, I do the MC work. I do I help with the setup aspect of it. So like, actually, like Friday, and then a little bit on Saturday. Some of it I can't do Saturday morning because now some vendors do show up Friday, so that helps. And then in the morning, I can't do as much because now I'm in the hall trying to get that all set up and things. So um part of the setup I can't deal with, but a lot of it I do. And we're again trying to get all the rooms set up, getting tables set up, and all that fun stuff, which is always a treat. So and then the like I said, everybody did great. There was so many. We had a lot of people that have returned. Like Tim Woolworth, Ambrose Hammond. We haven't had in years, but it was great to see her again. It was fun catching up with her. Another local to a lot of you Michigan people. A lot of you see her at other events and stuff. Hey, Donna. And so, so it was great to have her back. Of course, we had Tim Shaw. He's always been a hoot to have come back, and we loved Tim. And I will, like I said, I'm going to jump around a little bit because it's just when the thoughts pop in my head. But yeah, for those that were there and those that weren't there, and sad part is I don't have it with me, and I wish I did, but I had an S gift, surprise gift for Tim, and I was trying to find the right place to do that. And I even told him when he showed up for setup on Friday, and he um I told him, I said, I have something for you. And he was obviously, scared, because he's like, what will I do? Because, most of you that know me, I can have some fun, and that's the important part. And so I was trying to find the best opportunity. And then, him and I agreed, we'll do it later. Well, Friday, we get stuck where we did have, after setup, we had a little, pizza party for, some of the sponsors and any of presenters, speakers. And so we were hanging out Friday night. And then obviously we try to get some sleep because, Saturday morning rolls around quickly. So during the event, I still couldn't get an opportunity to do it. So when I introduced Tim and brought him up there, again, if you guys were there, you saw it, but totally, blew his mind. But I mean, I gave him a few little hints, so but I tried to not steer it one way or the other. And the night, what I ended up doing is I found about a month or two ago locally at a Books a Million store. They had, and like I said, I bought one for myself, but now I don't remember where I put it. But it was I mean, literally a mini version. It's like maybe the size of a cell phone. You know what I mean? It was a mini a Ouija board, and it's like travel, but mini size. I mean, it even had a small little planchette. And so, hey, Jennifer. And so it was really hilarious because, I just had it in the bag. I didn't wrap it or anything. I just wanted to pull it out so that way we didn't waste a lot of time. But I told him, I said, this is going to be adding to your collection. And he's, obviously there's a couple collections that he does have, but he didn't know which one, because I tried to make sure I didn't steer it, because most people know when you hear Tim or you've seen him or watch any of his stuff, Luigi, is like his thing. And so there was, at the time too, there was a running joke with his wife that he, has too many, and then she's trying to get him to get rid of some of them. So because, his basement's getting a little bit full. So I thought, this was perfect timing because it all just, I mean, everything lined. And so this little mini, a Ouija board, and it was so funny because when I pulled that out, he's like, he goes, well, this is now a number 83 to the list, of boards that he now has. And so totally blew his mind. And he did, Debbie. He did post that up to on his Facebook page, and I was nervous. I wanted to really see his wife Nancy her live reaction, but I knew because either she was going to hate me or she was going to love it. And the fact that it was small, she ended up posting that, or he commented saying that she did think it was cute at least. So at least I didn't burn any bridges with his wife, adding to his collection. So that was a fun little moment. But again, everything just fell right in the perfect place for that to happen, and so it was kind of a cool little surprise for him. And of course, he did a great job. But funny part was, I had to miss basically 98% of his presentation. So I feel bad about that. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately, let me go the other way, because this is a positive thing. Again, you might have seen some videos posted. You might have seen a lot of photos posted, that are out there, whether it was that night or, the next several days. One of the things that was top secret that I could not share with any of you, most of you that saw the flyers for the Old Mill Parafest #9, we themed it off of the movie It. Of course, we had to do the back of Pennywise, because of, just in case there's copyright issues, we didn't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, so we had the back of him looking at the old mill. So if you haven't seen that on our pages, definitely check that out, because it was good. And my sister-in-law, did the artwork for it. So, kudos to her, and she did a great job, and it came out great. I mean, the shirts were great. The logo, basically that logo was perfect because we really wanted, the idea of it. But the cool thing is the reason we did that was it was for the surprise event, the top secret thing that I kept talking about. And of course, I know some people want to know the ins and outs and get all the secret behind the scenes stuff, but there's just some things you can't share, because like this, I really wanted people to show up. I really wanted people to be there for this, because it was something that I technically have never seen, another Parafest, another Paracon do before. It's one thing to, have people dressing up as certain characters and stuff like that, no problem. That, we've all done that. I've done it, and so we wanted to do something a little bit more production value, kind of thing. Just something a little bit more, something that wasn't super time consuming, but just adding something, to our event, because obviously we're not the biggest event and we're not the smallest event, but we want to be able to share some things and have some fun, and know that if you guys come out to Old Mill Parafest, you're going to have a good time, and so many people throughout the event even say that it really feels like family, and that is so true, because we all treat each other with the utmost respect, and to have those conversations, whether you meet somebody for the first time or you're meeting people you haven't seen in a while. And I unfortunately had to miss a lot of events this year because I just couldn't get to it, because mostly because of financial reasons, and so I couldn't get to a lot of things, even just to attend, as just a normal guest. So I uh it was so good to finally see people, because it's been several years. I haven't seen a lot of people since before, the pandemic. And so it was rough, but at the same time gratifying to finally, get in the presence of everybody that I haven't seen in a while. So it was really, really cool. And like I said, we had a good turnout. But that top secret event. So again, I mentioned about the movie It. Um, the idea was, it came to me literally about a year ago at this point, when the thought of it was, and there was a popular uh you know metalish type of band that they've done two albums recently, last several years, that they theme a lot of their songs. Well, the two albums, every song is themed after a horror movie, and of course, It was one of them. And so they had a whole song that was devoted to the movie It. And a lot of the lyrics all represent the song, and aspects of, the movie. So when I seen them do, I saw a live concert of them. Besides, they have a video for it too, but they have a live concert, and it gave me the idea of, that's something I thought would be kind of fun, because I would have lights, I'd have some smoke, I'd have some strobes, and run around and pretty much be Pennywise myself, but create the event, create a show for everybody. Hey, Rhonda. And to do the same thing, but just add some more to it, and create it and make it a little bit more fun for everything. And so yeah, thanks, Nicole. um and I want to talk about this, but I got to make sure, before Nicole, if she hangs around, I got to talk to Nicole too, and share some things about what she did for me. um but uh we put this together. We took everything. Hey, Ian. And we put the show together. I tried to make sure it wasn't too much for everybody, because obviously we can't get everybody. Everybody lives in different parts, of the states, and so to get everybody to do rehearsal, I minimized everything as much as I, have a theater background. I mean, I lived backstage for so much stuff, and I wanted to do way more, but obviously to try to get everybody to do this all in basically a 24 hours, to get everybody to do a couple dry runs, and then obviously do it live. So it's one of those things that, there was a lot of thought into it. I spent, the better part of a year, working this out, memorizing things, because obviously I was lip syncing. I was not going to be doing it live. But I lip sync the entire song. Um, but for those that haven't seen it or seen the images of me, I had my daughter show up. I had her play. So most of you that know the movie, I had her play the part of Georgie. So she was in the yellow raincoat. And so I had her come out. We had rain sounds and thunder sounds, and had her pretending like she was, working the paper boat. Again, see the movie if you really want to get more, if you're into that horror movies. But and so she basically, comes out and does a little bit, and then eventually, I make my entrance. But at the same time, I wanted to have a choir, and I called it the victims choir, because it was supposed to be the victims that, me or Pennywise has, taken out. And so I had them all with the black folders. I had lyric sheets, because again, couldn't get everybody to memorize everything, especially the chorus parts. And it was so much fun to have them up there. And yeah, Heather was there. And um but so we had them out there and stuff. Hey, Heather. And so they were up there pretending like they were singing along. And so I just, again, we had lights and we did all these different things in the smoke. And then I come out doing, lip syncing the song, and I'm working with my daughter, who's Georgie, and we're going back and forth. And then I work the crowd, kind of like it would be like if I was really on a major stage. And so it was so much fun. It was great to see everybody's reaction, and to uh, see people smiling, and to, I couldn't tell because obviously I was moving around quickly. I was trying to, obviously act like literally a clown, right? But a scary clown. And so I couldn't see everybody's faces. So I have no idea if I scared the bejesus out of anybody. But maybe I did, because anybody that hasn't seen the photos, I, had a half mask on so that way people could see that I was singing along with stuff. I spray painted the beard red. I had yellow contacts in, and had a whole outfit on. I mean, I had I went, if I'm doing something, I'm gonna go for it. I try not to kind of habsy it, and so I really, put the whole thing on, and really worked it. And uh, again, did a lot of, things to just make it, and have some fun. Whether people understood any of the lyrics at all, it was just the point of that, here's a little something that we could provide, and share. And it was a good way because, you know, again, people got to stick around for a little bit. Normally when the event's over, we're now doing VIP parties. And so, instead of kicking everybody out that's not supposed to be there anymore, they got to stay for at least one more, aspect of the event. So it's kind of a cool way to walk out the door, and whether you're scared or not, but at least you can go out there with smiling and stuff like that. Right, Debbie? It was go big or go home for sure. Um, but yeah, it was a good moment. It was fun. It spent so much time, and to, get this all put together, set everything up, and it just was it was a lot of work. I mean, even for me, because again, I, provided a lot of the special effects, stuff for it. Again, not over the top, but it was still plenty enough. And um I will try to see if I can get some videos. If I haven't posted them on my page, I will try to find where they're at and get them posted. So again, you may have to go to my Black Swamp Meeting page, and scroll back to see if they're there. And I can't remember now if I did share them to my page or not. But so if you guys want to see it, uh, definitely check it out. And if I haven't, I will double check myself, and I will then try to get that posted for you guys to see. Uh, but yeah, that was a cool moment. It was just a fun moment. And those, obviously, you could see a few people that were there, and got to see it, and enjoyed it and stuff. So that was the top secret thing that I couldn't talk about, but that's why I kept forcing people to make it, because it was one of those things that, how could you share that? Because why give it away when you really could just sit there and then be in the middle of it? So yeah, uh cool. uh, but so I do want to, like I said, I was jumping around with the Parafest stuff, but I wanted to back up real quickly because Nicole, or Nikki, um, I always call her Nicole, but I always forget to call her Nikki. But so as I said, I do the MC work, and then I had a presentation. Well, I knew darn well, because of my team, SWPI Swippy, I knew darn well that if I let one of them introduce me for my presentation, I knew it wouldn't go well. And that's not a negative. It's a positive. I just know I know if any one of them would have jumped up there, they would have said something, and it just would have, been what, it would have been a joke or a crack at me. And so I wanted to make sure I avoided that. And it's nothing against it. Like I said, this is not a negative. I just knew that I wanted to have control. So for one moment, I wanted control over how my introduction went. So yeah, and I joked about it. I even said that, because I haven't seen the video. I still got to get that from my other friend Jen, who I told her to film the beginning of it so that way I can get it. But I did joke about that. I said, I'm not going to let one of these knuckleheads, introduce me, because I know darn well what's going to happen. So so Nikki, I approached her, and then and of course, she then reached out to Christopher St. Booth, who's her boyfriend and stuff. And obviously Christopher's a near and dear friend of me, and so is Nikki, but I thought it would be fun to have Nikki introduce me, and she would record the video, and then I would embed that video in my presentation, and then pop it up on the screen. And so it turned out amazing. And I'm not just saying that because Nikki's watching. It really did. I truly, when she did it two times, and even the first time, it turned out way better than I thought. I told her when I saw it the first time that, it actually did bring a tear to my eye of how well it was put together. And it was short. It was only 40 some seconds, but it hit everything. And it was just, I could feel the energy. I mean, Nikki did a great job at it, and it was real special. And it was very cool that, because we weren't sure too, because obviously Nikki is now doing, she's kind of like the spokesperson for Spook TV, which is what Christopher owns. That's where he does all his movies and documentaries and stuff. And so yep. And so, of course I wasn't gonna, I didn't want to jeopardize anything or create any issues. So, they were, obviously everybody was cool with it. And so we got to do that. And I even joked that with Nikki. I was like, hey, even if he wants to sponsor me, because then we'll throw the Spook TV thing up there. I'm cool with that. And so I'm like, whatever we could do just to make this happen, that's it. But Nikki put that in there anyway. She introduced herself, like that, from Spook TV. And so it definitely still plugged it, which is important to me anyway. Because again, I definitely support them and what they do. And obviously, Nikki even said it in the introduction, was that, you guys know, and it's getting closer. But that movie I worked on, Never Blink, is getting really close. So, you guys, I can't wait to finally get this, out there for you guys to see, and all that, the weeks that we've put into it. And obviously they doing a lot more behind the scenes, from us, with all the post-production stuff, but with all the filming and stuff, I can't wait. I can't wait to show you guys. I mean, obviously, we'll have to have an event of some sort, or who knows? We'll figure things out, but it's definitely going to be one for the books. And so I can't thank Nikki and Christopher, for that. I mean, I did thank them, in after the introduction and stuff, but I definitely wanted to make sure I do it now, because again, even with just us just having Thanksgiving. So I'm definitely grateful and thankful for all of you, but everybody that helps me out, and yep. But yeah, so like I said, it really did touch me. And like I said, with it being short, it's amazing that, it still meant the world to me that they were willing to do that for me and stuff. And but yeah, so yeah, and even then, I guess I can just talk. I mean, my presentation, I did it on spiritual healing, and I can obviously just highlight a few little things. But we the gist of, it is much like what you guys know. And so it I wanted to talk about it because it's become a more popular. And obviously on this show, I can't do long-winded stuff because it would just take up, an easy hour or more. So I give you guys just highlights on some of the topics just to kind of get your feet wet, give you a few little things, whether you want to research it on your own or ask questions to me privately. So at a presentation, I get to dive into it, which is, the whole point. So I kind of went through all the pros and cons to spiritual healing, because there is some cons to it. There is some negatives, but they're not as bad as you think they are. But like I said, I dove through it all. I had a great time doing it. And I think everybody did, because the funny part was, over the next several days, I had several people that were there that have already, wanted me to, schedule a healing for them. So it, obviously it works. It works in the aspect that, we are in a position where we need to look into that further. So I I'm looking forward to, getting back into the swing of things, because obviously, I'm still busy, and we're about to go jump to the next part of the reason why I've been gone. And oh, thanks, Margaret. Yep, it was really cool. It was great to meet him. And yeah, so that went really well. Like I said, everybody did great. A lot of great presentations. And so Old Mill Parafest 9 is definitely, definitely one that we'll all remember. And now, now that a few more things have passed, now we can start thinking about year 10. I can't imagine that we won't get approved for year 10. You would think that at least we got to go, we're at the point now where, give us that decade, give us the, that milestone, and give us, at least one more, time at it. And so, So for those that are local or anybody that's willing to travel in November of next year, I hope you will join us because again, if you were there and you saw what we did, who knows? Because I thought maybe I would come up with something or at least start to, but I haven't yet. Um, but I will, you know, and I'll definitely be at the root of it and seeing what everybody's willing to work with me on. And, who knows? I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll make it epic for sure. So year 10 is going to be one of those that we hope, a lot more people, are willing to celebrate at least, I know everybody's got things going on. We get in November, people are busy, so many events, holidays. And so I get it that, you can't always go there, the money, I understand that. And so, um, obviously, it would be great for next year to, have a lot of faces that we haven't seen in a long time show up because, again, some of them that we haven't seen in a while have meant a lot to us and helped us get, on our feet. And so I would love to see, some other people show up and really make year 10 a one to, one to really signify, that we've been in it and we've stuck through it. We even still had a Parafest, even though it was all online, in 2020. And so we haven't broken the streak, and so we're still moving along. And so yeah, year 10, you know, who knows what's going to happen, but it'll be good. I know that. If not, even if it stinks, we're all going to be together. We're all going to have a few laughs. And that's even more important than anything. Is just getting together and hanging out. And again, there's so many other events that are out there. So I understand, if you have to pick some over the others and stuff like that, I totally get it. Like I said, I couldn't get to things because of financial, situations. And so I'm hoping that next year I can get to some other things. So that's the whole thing for next year, is that I can get back to, seeing other things. And there's a few on my list that I really want to get to. So I'm going to do my best to make it out to a few more, even if it's just me hanging out. I mean, I do know, and I think I mentioned it, but when next March, I will be doing potographs, with Tim Miley. I'm a vendor for that one, and I know that's in Ann Arbor, if I'm not mistaken. But I will be doing that one in March. So that's kind of my first booked gig next year. So I'm looking forward to going back to a potographs because I haven't been able to make it to the other ones because I've always had something else going on, which is or this year was financial, but a lot of times I've always got other things booked. So yeah, so March, I know, I'll be at that one. So anybody, wanting to attend potographs next year, I'll be there sitting at a table doing readings, healings, whatever anybody needs. So yeah, Della, for sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously our Old Mill Parafest, we won't, have an official date yet because they, the Old Mill board and everything has to approve it. But if it is, it's usually the second Saturday of November. And then I think, the March, let me see what it is. I'll just get it right quick because then we're going to jump in because I want to hurry up and get to what I just did. Yeah, March 4th, 2023 in Ann Arbor is the Potographs event. A great event, super awesome cause. And yeah, so that's going to be an epic one too. So let me transition into some of the stuff that maybe people are willing to that maybe have been sticking around. I'm sure Jennifer, I'll say Jennifer H because I know we have a bunch of Jennifers here, but Jennifer H, I'm sure is going to be really wanting to hear about this next part. So let me drink some pumpkin spice coffee and skål to you, all of you. So for those of them that have been watching my post, I've been putting up certain pictures from a certain location. And I recently just got home the night before Thanksgiving from Florida. And again, if you haven't seen any of those photos, go check them out. But we got on the road last Friday morning, so a week ago yesterday, and then we returned Wednesday night. And we spent obviously 21 hours on a bus with some stops, 21 hours on a bus with a bunch of marching high school kids. And my daughter's a freshman this year, so it was it was one of those things that I was hoping I could be a part of it and be able to help out, and I got lucky, I got signed up, got in there because obviously there's so many people that wanted to be a part of the trip and help out with the kids. And so I was one of the lucky dads that got on there, and so I'm grateful for, that opportunity, even with the fact that, I got to spend 2 times being 21 hours on a bus with a bunch of kids, and some probably would think that is going to be misery, and no, and it really wasn't. It really wasn't that bad. From everything I know, pretty much everything worked out on all 3 buses, but it was louder going down there. I think the excitement was there, and so it was definitely louder. It definitely went late into the first night, and so uh, I was hoping I would get some sleep, and it mostly was just, cat naps, power naps, that sort of thing. So I never really got more than, I never got an hour straight. It never happened. So it was always a 15, 20, then be up for a little bit and then another 15, 20. So uh, it was rough, but I kind of knew that. And even then, it wasn't as comfortable as I thought it would be. Luckily, us chaperones, which I was on bus one, and we only had me and one other chaperone because we also had the 2 directors, and we also had the tour director who was, in charge of the company that we did the trip through. Uh, so really, I didn't have to do a whole lot of stuff on the bus, which was cool. I mean, but I would have, because every bus had to take attendance and stuff like that. But the directors did that for me and the other chaperone, so that was cool. Uh, but you know, didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Some kids were sleeping for hours on end, and I don't know how they did it, but they did it. But had a lot of fun. I forgot to mention that, I had 10, technically 11 kids, but I had 10 boys that I had to, keep track of, and make sure, mostly at the hotel, and then in the parks, for attendance purposes, making sure that all 10 of my boys. Now I did have 11th, which was my daughter. So she was with me in that aspect, but um, we had a great group of boys. Absolutely had fun with them, and I posted a little bit about I think I did it the Thursday morning. I think I posted about, my just some of my feelings about how everything went with the kids. Uh, and I kind of rehashed that, but I want to obviously talk more about the rest of the trip. But I mean, I really, you know, looking at the entire thing, I had a great time. Met a lot of kids. Obviously, I can't memorize all of them because there was like 120, 130 kids. So there's a lot of people to get through. Some I never even talked to, but I tried to do what I could, especially with my group of 10. And then there was others, and so most of you that have known me for a while and never hung out with me, you guys know how I am. And so I don't the way I do things is, I just want to listen. I want to talk to people, and I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you're into. I don't care what age you are. Uh, I'm giving you the time of day regardless. And I don't care if you're 2 years old. It doesn't matter, And so the kids realized that pretty quickly, that I wasn't a typical dad. I wasn't a typical parent, and I wasn't like this strict chaperone. Now, I'm not saying anything against any of the other chaperones. Everybody has a place in this, and I'm just talking about myself. But I just wanted to make sure that, I got in with the kids and that they could feel comfortable, because if they needed something, they could come to me for that. And that's what I really wanted, was if there was any situations they didn't feel nervous or worried, that if they had to say something, they could. And that was my real main goal, was to just get them to listen and talk to me if they needed it, and I would. And I wouldn't be, upset over them, or judging them or anything like that. Just like, what's up, let's figure some things out. And so but again, they really taken a liking to me, and I'm not doing that, just patting myself on the back. I just who I am. And so a lot of these kids, were just wanting to, by the final day, that, not the travel day, but the final park day, I mean, they were fighting over, sitting next to me on rides, so I mean, how cool is that? And I wasn't even expecting it, because the first couple parks, was pretty much, me and one other chaperone, and then and I'm going to talk about that. And by the way, it's 10-10, just for all of you here. I'll number people. But um I but it was really cool. It was really nice, and even then, you guys do know, the nickname Viking, sticks out, and that was something that Christopher and Phil, used when we were on set for Never Blink because there was another Adam, and even then, I do have Viking in me, so that worked out even better. But I told the kids, I said, I know I don't want no Mister Wizlick and stuff like that. Just either call me Adam or call me Viking. And a lot of them took to the Viking part because they just thought it was cool, and they said he kind of looks like a Viking. So it was so cool to hear them yelling Viking. But I was talking to another chaperone yesterday, and they were like, they we weren't Facebook friends, and now we are, and they were like, oh, we just thought the kids were just nicknaming you that. Like, no, it's like I've been really given this nickname. So it really worked out. And because the chaperone that was talking to me, she's like, yeah, I was asking my son to give me a cool nickname. I'm like, that's awesome. So, and her son was like, no, I'm not giving you a nickname. So, but it's cool that, I got to go that around. So now it'll be interesting on any other events that I either go to or help out at. I have a feeling I'm going to be hearing Vikings scream through the halls or wherever we are. So that'll be kind of fun to see. And, but like I said, I had great time with the kids, and the ones that weren't in my group wanted to be in my group, and, which was cool too, but, again, I work, with who they are, and I just, it's just me. I'm just me. That's all I can say. Nice, Jen. But yeah, so we get there, Saturday morning. Basically we have to switch. We had to get off our buses because now it was really a break time, but we also got to a place uh, that we got to get breakfast, we got to get cleaned up, but we only had 20 minutes, so you really couldn't shower, for nothing. So it was more like just kind of freshen up, change a few, shirt, socks, and stuff like that, and then go get breakfast. And then by a certain point, after a couple hours, we had to get on the buses because we were going to the beach. So we went to Coco Cay Beach, which we were part of Coco Cay, but we went to more of it's not private, but it's just a little bit more non-touristy, but it was called Alan Shepard Beach. So we, not a lot of people were there yet, or really at all. So, I mean, but there was people around, but all the kids had a blast. I mean, a lot of them were brave enough to get in the water because it was chilly. I will say, hey, Michelle, it really was. I mean, I definitely got my feet in there. I didn't go swimming. I was trying to make sure I was still kind of keeping a chaperone, kind of set up, where if something was needed, I can go, and I didn't want to be in the middle of the water. Plus, it's their time. Let them, get some energy out and stuff from being cooped up for 21 hours in a way. So so I basically stayed there, even though several times the wave, you can't expect waves to do what they always do, because a few times it hit real hard, and then bottom of my shorts, my cargo shorts, were just getting soaked. So I'm like, ah, geez. So, so I definitely got wet a few times. One time was really bad because it went all the way up from behind, so it looked like I had a real bad accident back there. But I'm like, oh, geez. But I did do a live. If you guys didn't see that, you can still go back and check it out. But I did a live from the beach in the water. Tried to talk a little bit, even though it was loud, the wind and the kids, and then just wanted you guys to hear the ocean and stuff. So if you want to check that out, it's not a really long video, but you can see that. But had a blast. That was super cool. Really enjoyed the ocean. I haven't seen the ocean in years, really since the 90s. So it's been that long. So it was great to get my feet back in the ocean, and it was very powerful. And we go down these paths of cleansing and grounding, and it was truly there. The ocean definitely provides a whole different aspect. Nothing against freshwater sources, like I'm closer to Lake Erie, and there's Lake Michigan and all those. It's still, there's something about the ocean because that covers the bulk of the planet. So it's one thing to put your feet in that water and know that you in a way are kind of connected, even more so, from a physical aspect, with everything in the world. There's salt water touching every continent. So to me, that's kind of a powerful moment, and it was, and I could feel that. And so definitely really enjoyed that. After the beach, we, had a barbecue, and then we, raced back to the hotel, everybody to change, and then get our rooms, near Disney Springs. It wasn't in Disney Springs because there's no hotels in Disney Springs, but we had a hotel, not too far. I don't know if it was like 8 minutes away, 5 minutes away, something like that. So it wasn't too far from where we were staying. But got to Disney Springs. My only complaint of Disney Springs was there was not enough time. We only had about 2 hours, and the bulk of it was just to get food. Unfortunately, the lines were unbelievable, and I kid you not, and Jennifer right there, will understand. The lines were unbelievable. I mean, to get to any one place. Hey, Dinah, to get to any one place. And there was a couple places I was trying to really get into. Unfortunately, lines to get in were wrapped down down the streets from where this different restaurants are all spread out. I walked the entire place trying to find the shortest line I could find. And as crazy it wasn't until I got back to where we entered, where the buses and stuff kind of were, that I finally found a mac and cheese food truck, because it was the shortest line anywhere, because everything else was crazy. And there was one particular bar that I really wanted to get into because I heard a lot about it. And that even the walk-up bar had 3 or 4 deep of people. So I'm like, I couldn't get it. I mean, I literally didn't shop. I didn't shop. It took me an hour to finally find this mac and cheese truck. Then by the time, I get my food and eat, and then and then eat, and then I ran into some of the kids because they found the same truck because it was the only place they could get something relatively quick. We were out of time. And so it was kind of a bummer. So Disney Springs was kind of a bummer. I mean, it was just so busy, and it was, Saturday night, go figure, right? Plus, we're leading into a holiday week. So I didn't get to do anything that I really wanted to try to get into a few places and stores, but it didn't work out. So, it is what it is. You can't, and by the way, I will say about that mac and cheese, the mac and cheese was fantastic. I don't even remember what the name of it was, but it had a name, but it had other things in it. And one of the items that was in it, and I didn't care, I just wanted food, but it sounded the best, had shrimp in it. I'm not kidding you. It had shrimp in this mac and cheese meal and a couple other little things, but it was all good. It was really good. So, hey, Bonnie, good morning. So I never had shrimp and mac and cheese, but I did this time, and I didn't care. It was food, but it was good. Other than that, yeah, like I said, we just didn't have enough time. And I almost wish that we maybe would have bypassed the hotel and went right to Disney Springs and then went back and checked into the hotel. I probably would have preferred that a little bit more, but I understand getting rooms and getting, changed and stuff like that because of the beach. So I get it, but yeah, I would have appreciated a little bit more time, but we're on an itinerary. We got to do it anyway. So Sunday morning, get up. It's Epcot day. Now, Epcot, was cool other than it being rainy all day, or at least 3/4 of the day. And don't anybody put in the comments saying, well, that's Florida. I've heard that comment too many times already. I'm done with it. So, because I really don't care about rain. It really didn't care. But what was fun was the chaperones did not. Okay, the kids had to do a music workshop first, so they did not get part time right away. So they had 4 hours of a music workshop. So they got to go in this back area and stuff like that. But the chaperones, we got dropped off early, so we get to jump off the bus and we got to go into the park. It's funny, as we were getting into the park, it started to sprinkle. So then it didn't let up for a long time. But luckily it was always like sprinkled the light rain for the most of it. Anyway, so kind of hooked up with a few other chaperones, and we were just kind of working around and stuff. And I'm not going to remember everything, but I will say this just in case I forget. I did hit pretty much every single thing at Epcot ride wise. I think I did miss something, but I'm trying to remember what it was. But in all the different aspects, I got to everything I really wanted to get onto. So I definitely no complaints about that. That was probably my best day for hitting stuff, where I got to pretty much everything I wanted to. Again, I'm just going to highlight a couple of them because obviously I don't want to run too far over, but I want to give you guys a little bit. But one of the big ones that people that know about, and it was brand new, was Guardians of the Galaxy. I did get on it. I really did. And it's different because it's not just one that you can go up to and stand in line. You actually have to sign up in a virtual queue. Me and this other chaperone, it was about lunchtime. Her and I were eating together, and we're like, let's just try it. So we put our names in the queue. We got the same groups because we had to do them individually. We got the same group, and it was like 8:59 p.m. which was bad because at 9 o'clock was the Disney show that they do. Every park's got a night show. So we knew at that point, it would be rough to try to get you know, to get on the ride, but yet, we need to watch the show because after the show we have to meet to take attendance and then leave the park. Funny part was, uh, got hooked up with a few people, and like I said, I'm gonna jump a little bit, but uh, we I was hanging out with some other chaperones because we all kind of hooked up at one point, and we were all going to try to eat together, for dinner. Next thing people wanted to do shopping, didn't want to do, this. So it's like, no, we weren't trying to, pull anybody along. So I hung out with a few others. We saw this one Mexican restaurant that's right outside the main Mexican area in the World of Showcase. And we we got food, and I just as I was about to grab my food off of the counter, um, the chaperone I've been hanging out with, for the past couple of days and was on the same bus, hits me up frantically saying, "Hey, they just called our group for Guardians." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I said, "I'm literally about to grab my food right now." And I'm like, "Well, just go. And she was already close to that area where the ride was. So I said, "Just go on it." So she gets on it. Well, or gets to it. I inhale my food. I mean, truly inhale it in 5 minutes. And then I go booking all the way back near the front, which is where the ride is. I'm speed walking like you wouldn't believe. And a couple of the kids saw me. They're like, "Well, you're in a hurry." I said, "I got my call, I got in the queue for Guardians. They're calling me now." And they're like, "Well, go." So get over there. You gotta put your phone up to the thing. They scans in to show that you're legit, that you signed up. You get in there and weave around inside and stuff like that. And so it wasn't very long. Once I was in the line about halfway or so, or getting pretty close to getting on the actual ride, the other chaperone I was hanging with just got off the ride. She goes, "Oh my God, you're gonna love it." So sure enough, I get up there, I get on the ride, I'm by myself, well, I mean, there was other people around, but we get on there. Amazing ride. I mean, truly amazing. They did I mean, I haven't actually seen the movie, but it was amazing. So anybody that's, into some roller coaster stuff, it was totally worth it. That was definitely the best ride of the day. And I heard some people saying, if you don't get on anything else, this will be it. And it truly was. Guardians was amazing. But I got everything else. I got lucky to get on Test Track. I got on there by myself because it was starting to sprinkle, and they have to shut that ride down because it does go outside for a little bit. So I did get on Test Track. I do have a photo of myself, the hairs, and the beards, flying. So I just took it when it was off the screen. But like I said, I got on everything. I got on the Remy or Ratatouille one. Geez, all the other ones, the Nemo one. What else is there? Definitely walked through a lot of the world areas. I did buy a few things. I bought a mug, well, more of a ceramic mug that looks like a horn, like a peeled horn, and a shirt that from Norway, which had a big Viking on it. So it's like, well, yeah, of course I got to get something, Viking-ish. So, oh, and they had Frozen in that one. That was a good ride too. The Frozen in Norway was pretty good. And I'm trying to think of the other ones. A couple things were shut down. Trying to remember what else. I did the there was a couple space ones, and I'm blanking on the names right now. I did both of those. The one we did, which was really cool, we did the intense version of it. Holy smokes, it felt like you were truly in it, because like you get in there, they put a harness on you, and then the console comes up and gets like right in your face. So like everything's like this, and you got to hit some buttons because there's 4 people to one section, and everybody's going, yes, I did both of them. Both space things, Jen. I did both of them. But the one was cool because we just went right hardcore, and it was great. I mean, it felt like the legit thing. But got on all, like I said, got on all the big major rides and things. Yeah, Mission Space and Spaceship Earth. Yep, that's it. Yeah. So that was a blast. And then of course we weren't staying until the very, very end. So we saw the show. Yeah, it truly was. The chaperone that was with me, Jen, she was not doing, she was okay, but she was definitely a little wobbly after the ride for a while. So she wasn't going on anything else. Which I understood, because I definitely felt it a little bit when thank God you have to walk a long ways after that ride, because then you get to kind of collect yourself. But yeah, she was still a little freaked out and stuff. But Good. That was a good one too. I'd go back on that one again anytime. Um, but yeah, in the night shows on all the places were fantastic. I mean, they all have a name, Phantasmic. Gosh, I can't remember them all now, but yeah, let's see. Della, second time sailing, very packed because Hocus Pocus State Police message. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yep. Yeah, no doubt. Uh, so Epcot ends. We go to Magic Kingdom on Monday. That was the special day. That was parade day. Our kids, were marching in the 6 p.m. Parade. Harmonious. That's it, Jen. Thank you. I know I was going to get them all mixed up. I all of them. We hit them all. Uh, I know Phantasmic was another one. I forget the one at yeah. Yeah. Well, I did not see well, I should say this. Oops. I did not see the Magic Kingdom one, which is where I'm at right now. I did not see that, and I'll get to that real quickly. Um, but Magic Kingdom, I hate to say this. Okay, Donna, take care. We'll see you. Have a good rest of your weekend. Jen, you're gonna hate me for this. Um, Enchantment is at Magic Kingdom. Okay, that's it. Yep. Um, you're gonna hate me for this. Magic Kingdom sucked. Now, I'm not saying it's a horrible park. It sucked in the aspect that I have never seen that many people in a single place ever. It was pretty much shoulder to shoulder constantly. And if you're claustrophobic, whew, you would have struggled. And it was bad. I mean, with people, with strollers, with motorized carts, I mean, it was just packed. Um, did not get to very much at all because some rides were just insane. And so, um, 1 second, gang. Um, it it truly was. I got to deal with some garbage. So, uh, I got on Haunted Mansion, which I did post about, and I got which was fun because that was the very first ride we went to. So we had to do pictures and stuff. So then we finally got there. So we had to wait. We pretty much waited about an hour on the nose for Haunted, but got in there, got on the ride, which even then, by the time we got inside the last few little scenes you get to the actual car you sit in, it was like not moving. There was no people on the ride. It was weird and nobody's saying anything. We're just all standing there in the little hallway up to the ride part. And it was like, what is happening? And that, eventually it starts working again. And that's cool. Yeah, Della. Um, we get on the ride. We're going through the ride, we're having fun, and some of it I remember, some of it I forgot about because it's been since the 80s since I've really been on that ride. But I mean, it was awesome. And we get to the cemetery scene and then the ride stops. And I'm like, what is happening? And the chaperone that was with me, I'm like, I don't think this is supposed to stop. And I'm like, of all places, we're in the cemetery. And I'm dying. I'm having a field day because I'm like, this is great. And I'm like, I'm like, this couldn't have been any more planned. Now, granted, it could be, there's some handicapped people getting on the ride. It could be because something, mechanical, who knows? They obviously don't tell you. They just kept putting announcements, hey, the ride's going to get started again. But we're just sitting there, we're seeing the same, part where I was at, but it was hilarious just sitting there going, this would only happen to me, right? I'm into all this stuff, and here it is. I'm stuck on on a ride in a haunted, haunted place. But I know there's a lot of stuff behind it that truly is haunted. But yeah, it was so funny, and I know I posted about. I'm like, I'm stuck on the ride of all times. But I think we only waited like maybe 5 to 7 minutes or so before it got running again. But too funny though. So that was cool. I did Small World twice, once with my other chaperone, and then my family showed up, my wife's son and my parents. So I went on the ride with them because we really couldn't get on anything else. Peter Pan was one of the rides I was going to try to get onto. However, that one was always around 3 hours. 3 hours to get it to stand in line. So that was not an option. Plus, it broke down a couple times. Space Mountain was a disaster. It was pretty much broken down the entire day. And when it would open up briefly, then it would be, 3 hours. So so Space Mountain was not good. Plus, at the end of the night, there was rumors that the underground of it all, the underground underneath Space Mountain apparently was flooding. So that was one rumor, which we obviously don't know 100% for, but it was weird because there was something else that happened later on that was bizarre. Um, uh, I had some good food and stuff. And then I did do Pirates of the Caribbean. I did get on that one. So I was with my friend, chaperone friend. We did get on that one. Um, so I only got on a few, but we got to see the kids march. That was pretty cool. They did a great job. I know I posted a group shot of that. Uh, I didn't post any videos of it. I figured you guys didn't really want to watch a marching band, running down the street, well, marching down the street. But so that worked out pretty good. They looked great. They sounded great. It was so cool because they were the lead. They were there was 3 marching bands, and they were the lead group, which was the final group, or the headliner, if you want to call. So they got the coveted spot as being the last group to march down Main Street. So that worked out really well. The end of the night, like Jen was saying earlier, the show, we got off of Small World and we were trying to get back to a position of watching the show. Unfortunately, they started closing down streets, so you couldn't get to the main street so easily from where we were at Small World. So unfortunately, getting back there was terrible. We were struggling, and it got to the point too where the show starts, the night show starts, and I can't even, I have to be back up front at the conclusion of it. So I ended up having to ditch my, family and just literally work my way around to get back up front, which was terrible. So I literally missed the entire show, which was sad. But with them closing streets down, I mean, a lot of streets, I was kind of blown away. Like, I understand, for safety and things, but they closed down way too many streets, and you got people literally like everybody squished together, and it was terrible. So, I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to see it, but it is what it is. But we got everybody out, and so, and then back to the hotels. Final day, because I'm out of time. Obviously, it's 10:30. We got the Hollywood Studios. Uh, did not get to everything there either, because it was packed too, but not as bad as Kingdom, but still bad. Uh, Tower of Terror was an ultimate disaster. Thank God I didn't get on that one because we had kids that were stuck in Tower of Terror for almost 6 hours. So half the day, we were there for 12. Half their day was stuck in Tower of Terror. It took them 3 hours to get to get up to the front where the ride is. Got on the ride, sat there for another 45 minutes to an hour, and then another like half an hour or so after that. So I felt bad for some kids that literally just couldn't get to anything else. So they lost pretty much 6 full hours on Tower of Terror. So that was bad. I got on all the Star Wars stuff. So I got on Rise of the Resistance, Smuggler's Run, and then Star Tours. I even got on Resistance one more time. So I did that twice. So I spent a lot of time in the Star Wars area. I did get the blue milk. So that was fantastic. I got a souvenir cup from that. So I was pretty excited for, I actually had the blue milk twice. I will say that the first blue milk I had, they have a few for adults that they can add a few little extra things to it. So, yeah, but other than that, it was really good. But Rise was great. That's why I did it twice, Jen. It really was fantastic. I kind of did like that one a little bit better than Smugglers because the realism, when once you're on the ride, and even then how the Imperial officers and stuff, they treat you like garbage, man, which is great. Like if you're not paying attention, they kind of like get snippy with you, which was fantastic. Like you truly get, like, you feel like you're like in it. Because a few times they like the one, I was the lead of our group on the second time through, and they tell me, okay, go. So I know to pay attention. So I go up there and I get to where the next officer is, and she kind of looks at me and then rolls her eyes, moves next door. It was great. Um, but uh, um, but yeah, but when you get on the ride and you're going to things, and then you see the ceilings and that it really would be if you were in the real thing. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, full ATs, ATATs. Like we went underneath some. Oh my gosh, that was insane. Um, we did get stuck on it for a little bit after once as the ride was ending, we were stuck for about good 5-10 minutes. We were stuck on it. It just everything was not moving, so it was kind of weird. And yeah, a lot of fun. It was totally worth it. And that was both of those were about an hour or so on each of them. I mean, everything we timed it pretty much an hour. Got a rock and roller coaster. That was pretty intense too. That one was so much fun. That's an Aerosmith, themed ride. That was mind blowing. But that was cool. And that was pretty much it. We didn't get a chance to get anything else because it just lines. I was gonna try to get on some of the more kiddish ones, like the Lightning McQueen one, but just didn't have the time and trying to eat and get fed and stuff like that, and kind of tried to shop. I mean, I didn't come home with a whole lot of merchandise and stuff. I came over with a few things, but I didn't come home with a lot. So, but uh, but overall, I mean, it was good. And even then, the bus ride home because we literally got on the buses and drove home that night. So like we were another 21 hours. So I will say it was kind of funny watching the kids pass out like fast. Some of them were already passed out by the time we got out of the parking lot and stuff. So I was blown away by that. But I was up for a while before I started taking some naps and things. But um, had it, again, I had so much fun with the kids and they had fun with me. And, the ones that at least did hang out or come up and talk and stuff like that and sharing lots of stories, park stuff and everything. So it was a lot of fun to hang out and uh, worth it. I mean, obviously, if we had more freedom and things like that, I could have gotten to other things and stuff like that. And my true intention was I'd be by myself the entire trip, other than when I was needed. But I didn't expect to kind of hook up with, some chaperones and then the kids, especially on Hollywood Day. Uh, I really didn't expect that I wasn't going to push anybody, even my daughter. I never saw her Epcot and Magic Kingdom Day, I never really saw her, that much, at least during the park. At the, um, Epcot, I only saw her at the end of when we were getting on the buses, and then my, Magic Kingdom Day, I got to see her, to check in for the attendants before they get dressed for the parade, and then obviously back on the bus, or she wasn't even on my bus, but just to see her, waiting. And then, at least Hollywood, I got to see her a couple times throughout the park, so that was kinda cool. But yeah, I wasn't gonna be, having her glued to me. I wanted her to hang out with her friends and stuff like that, and, she had a great time too, so, but yeah, it was definitely a lot quieter on the way home. Like I said, I never slept more than like 15, 20 minutes, so, um, I do keep track of, exercises, standing and stuff like that. The big one was standing, and it was hilarious was I got a full 24 hours of standing because I'd get up and stretch my legs on the bus and stuff like that. So I was up every hour for sure. But everything was worth it, even with the bus ride and stuff. But again, it was a good trip. Obviously, again, would have loved more time. Could have used a couple more days because I would love to go back to a couple of different parks. But again, it was also Thanksgiving week, so that vacations are happening and things. So I knew that we got to take that into account that it's busy because of the holidays. So there's not much I can do. It does make you want to go back. It really does. I mean, there's so many good things to do, and all of them. And I wasn't dogging Magic Kingdom. It just was that busy that it was just hard to get on much due to the lines. For a lot of the rides. So yeah, I'm definitely not, it stinks, of course, but what do you expect? You can't expect the world and you're not like nobody's gonna be there, it's Disney for but but yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun and obviously, yeah, and I would agree, Jen. A couple of them I would agree that way. I would do probably 2 days. I mean, now we didn't get to do Animal Kingdom, which was fine. But I would definitely do 2 days for the ones I did: Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and Hollywood. I would do 2 days easy for those. So, uh, but that's again, it might be nice to try to pick going there when it's maybe not as busy, to see if you can get on things a little bit more easier. But that's always something to plan, for anybody that's interested. I would try to find a time of year, possibly like, in a few months, get into the new year. And Jen, she knows a lot about Disney and helps, she helped me. She gave me a lot of great suggestions and things. So, um, she might even post right now. Maybe she'll tell you what the best time of year to go is. Because obviously summer and then the holidays, could be pretty rough. But I would say, winter season that we know of to spring probably be your best times. That's just my opinion. But maybe she'll say something. But like I said, yeah, I had a good time. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to, I said it earlier, to see some of these kids, at some of the upcoming concerts and stuff. I think it'll be amazing to hear them yelling me out, because I have this feeling that um, if they haven't talked about me to their parents and then they're yelling, and then you see this big long-haired bearded guy, and everybody's yelling Viking and they're coming up to me and stuff. I would, I think the parents are going to be a little weirded out. So I might have some explaining to do, but you never know. I might look pretty rough, but yeah, you get to know me, it's a whole different story. So a lot of you know that. So yeah, see that early spring, that would make more sense to me. Um, Debbie, I was first to Disney California back in the 70s when the noon, the lines were too. Yeah, see, I mean, it just summer and fall, I think, are just, they're just rough times to go. But sometimes you got to you can go when you go, but yeah, so I'm back, acclimating, it's been a few days. Spent Thanksgiving sort of alone, because my family, my wife's son and my parents are literally still driving home right now. They stayed an extra day, so they're going to be home this evening. So kind of hanging out, cleaning up the house a little bit, and then so I'll see them a little bit later when they arrive. So yeah, Thanksgiving was a little different for me. I mean, my brother and his wife, and then his in-laws were over. So we weren't alone. My daughter and I weren't alone. So we appreciate my brother and his and my sister-in-law for hosting a little Thanksgiving for us all, and that was great. And just to hang out, we had a lot of fun. But it was weird. It's only the second time in my life I've been some without family, without all the family together. So it was a little weird. Um, oh, really, Jeremy? Oh man, I would have loved to have gone. I would have loved to have gone, man. I wanted to see them, but I just everything times out in bad situations. So I may have to wait until they come back again, in the future. But that would be cool, man. I'd love to see them live. Um, Della, yeah, it's cool, dude. Like, I mean, I hopefully, but yeah, I think I could see them yelling and stuff like that in the future. But anyway, but yeah, Thanksgiving is good. I think we're gonna still do something tomorrow with my parents and with my wife and son as well. So I think we're still gonna kind of gather just to kind of reminisce about the trip, what they experienced and stuff. Even I only saw them for a little bit on Magic Kingdom Day, but so it'll be nice to kind of all talk and hang out for a little bit and wind. But yeah, buddy. Yeah, we'll stay in touch because yeah, we definitely can hook up and go, man. 100%. But yeah, so hopefully everybody's been well. I know I've run way over. It's not like me to run this long over, but I did. So hopefully you're all doing well. Hopefully your Thanksgivings were fantastic. And obviously we're moving on to the next one, the next big one. And uh, Sharon, I will not be watching the game because I just really don't care anymore. Um, if I put on any sports, it's because it's just background noise to me because I just got other things going on. So, oh, by the way, I know a lot of people are dropping off, but I did get quite a bit more done with my book that I've been talking about for years. Um, I mean, other than fixing things, but even adding to it, I got about another 1,400 words to the book done. So I'm getting to the point where I'm happy where I want to I still got a little bit more to go, but because I think I got to get to about 10,000 to be like a legit book. So, so I'm on that way. So, but yeah, so the book went well. Writing, both times in the long bus rides and things. So, but yeah, I think I want to get around 10,000 words to feel like it's a legit book. But so I'm at like 6,400. So just past halfway. So, but I'm coming up to some good parts that probably are going to fly once I stick to it. But so good. But right. I will definitely be back again next weekend. Everything should be on cue. I do want to be careful with obviously the I know let me make sure because I don't want to um are you guys real quickly with the few that are left that are watching, are you guys interested? Do you think it'll be a hindrance or do you think I should figure something else out? Obviously, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are both on Saturdays this year. Uh, are you guys interested? Would you still be able to watch in those mornings? I just kind of want to get a feeling or a vibe from you all because if not, maybe what I'll do is maybe not do the mid morning, but maybe I'll do something those weeks leading to those weekends or something. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be a morning show, but if you guys would still be interested in watching in the mornings, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, I'm down for it. I totally down for it. I know. I mean, even if one person showed up, I'm still happy. But I'd still do it even if nobody was. But like I said, if you guys are willing to, watch them on those mornings, I will continue to do it. So then we don't have to miss. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it looks like enough of you are saying sure. So that'll be awesome. I will definitely not stray from that. I'm hoping in 2 weeks to do a show in a different location. I have to work out the details. So it's a little weekend getaway, and I may have a close friend of mine sitting literally next to me for it. So I have to work that out this week to see if it's going to happen or not. So yeah, in 2 weeks there might be sort of a guest with me, but live, only because I'll be hanging out with her. So we'll see. Other than that, we'll just keep plugging away. We'll keep having fun. So I will come up with some topics and then we'll keep doing this and we'll just close out the year 2022 and start 2023. So already I have added almost another extra an hour and uh geez, I've added a lot. So hmm, hi, Jen. But, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much. Sorry I went a lot longer than I would, but obviously, there's a lot of cool things. Hey, thanks, George. Nikki, thank you so much for everything, truly. Thank you both. You and Chris, meant a lot. And then, yeah, I'm glad 22 will be gone. I know, Della. Yeah, you'll be, and that's what you gotta do is we're gonna power through and, we're gonna think better things for the new year. Yep. Have a good day, Jennifer, Debbie. Yeah. So thank you guys. I'm glad I'm back. Let's just do this thing. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And I will definitely see you with many, many more posts this week. Ian, you take care of yourself. Thank you. So yes, so you guys have been watching the Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. I will see you all again very, very soon. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care.